And we're live.
Okay, we're live. We're live here today with Coach Wayne Salmans. Thank you so much for joining us on 10-Minute Labs. I'm so excited, but I want to introduce you really quickly. Okay, Coach Wayne, 30 under 30, KW Bold Coach, and 7,000 business owners is who you've coached so far. That is amazing. Oh my God.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, exactly. And best pandemic yet. So far. Like, tell us more about that. Why?
I think when you think about the pandemic, here's where we thought about early on. It was like, this is by far my best pandemic yet. And what I mean by that is, I think when times get tough, we either get bitter or we get better. And it's just kind of our fun rallying cry for ourselves. Like, hey, look, there's a lot of tough stuff going on, but we're deciding to get better instead of getting bitter. So that's just kind of our fun mantra as we go through this amazing time.
I love that. It's like best pandemic yet. Hopefully not, but this is I'm gonna use that. That is really
take it away. Hopefully only, and yes.
And the fact that you've helped 7,000 business owners. Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, I think that, coming up, my dad is a pastor and my mom's a therapist. And I think that I don't know if I had a choice in the whole matter. So, right. But being able to coach business owners is by far, it's one of those things where I think I'm very fortunate that I get to do what I love to do.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes it's finding that passion within you.
Yeah.
And to ignite that passion, right? To help others in the process. That is what I really love about our business. But it's so good to have you here. Tell us one thing with all this going on, how do you stay so positive and motivated?
Red Bull. No. I think the reality is for me is I realized a while back that people go, man, I hope I'm focused today. I hope I'm motivated today. I hope I'm have energy today. Whatever. You just realize like it's more of a choice than we give it credit for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if I can go through these certain things, I'm naturally going to arrive at focused. If I go through these things, I'm naturally going to arrive at motivated. So I think it was just kind of making that choice, like to go through these. It's not easy, right? Like we all have bad days, but instead of having like bad days, it's like, okay, can I have a bad 5 minutes instead of a week? Can I have a bad couple hours, whatever it is. So
how you adjust your mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yep. Right. Reframe, refocus. Yeah.
Exactly. And how long are you going to stay in that negativity, and how can you change that negative mindset into a positive one?
Yes. Amen.
Right.
Amen. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Right. So with all this positive energy that you have and the way you stay motivated, tell us a little bit about, what have you seen so far as your biggest opportunity to grow your business over the remainder of the year?
I think the biggest opportunity right now, especially for real estate agents, what I've been coaching my real estate agents on is, get away from, you got to take a moment to go, is the plan that I had at the beginning of the year going to work or not? Take a minute, kind of recraft that plan. And then I think the biggest thing is look for the pain points, right? Like that book, Who Moved My Cheese? Look for where are your clients, where are people experiencing pain, and then figure out how can I help them with that. So look for the pain points, and that's where the cheese is right now, right? Who's struggling? Who needs my help, right? Who needs my help? How am I helping them, and why? And then go right for that.
And also to find out, obviously, like you just said, their why. Find out their why too, right? I mean, that's a big thing in any industry, in fact. So tell us a little bit about what keeps you awake at night, like with all this going on in our world. What really keeps you awake?
I think what keeps you awake at night right now is knowing that there's some more pain to come. And I know that that's like a terrible motivational speaker, right? Yeah. But I believe there is. I believe there's some more pain to come. And my prayer right now is that agents continue to go deep, and they plant a lot of seeds. They take care of their database at a very high level. They do those things at a very high level so that they have a harvest in the next 3 or 4 months. And I know that there's pain, right? There's a lot of pain with people that have pushed off their mortgage payments, and everything else. So it's just to not give up and have a false sense of like everything's going to be okay, right? It's just to pay attention.
Right, and to pay attention to what keeps you going.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that being said, what I know that you're an awesome coach, but what is one advice or a couple of advices that you could give that you would give to a newer agent or even less experienced agents?
Yeah, so I think I would give two pieces of advice. So first off, pick your one or two things you're going to go nail, and don't worry about everything else. So instead of worrying about trying to have 15 or 16 different lead generation sources, it's find 2 or 3 and go very deep on those, and don't worry about everything else. So dig 2 or 3. It all works if you work it. So find 2 or 3 places you're going to get leads, and go very deep into those categories. And then I think the other thing would be like don't resist. I think the people that are going to get really throat punched right now and in the next several months are the people that resist or wait for like normal to come back. And
Right.
it's like let go of the resistance and just embrace this is your new normal.
Right. And that's
what your new normal is. Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Is that would you say get into this new norm because everything is virtual? Get into it and just dive into it and
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Go in hardcore. And even for a lot of agents that are in a market where maybe they used to have to write 2 offers, now they have to write 8 or 6 or whatever. Right. Like you can either resist it or just embrace it, because the reality is the new agent's going to come along and they're going to go, oh, we have to write 6 offers to get one accepted. Okay, cool. Here we go. Right. So like get away from resisting and just get into like, hey, here's what your new normal, right? And learn the lessons. I think the saddest thing this whole pandemic will be if you go through this and you don't learn, right? If you don't figure out what you're going to do different moving forward, if you don't craft a new future.
Right. And I think that is also, like you said, a biggest challenge for some realtors too, how to just not wait for the trigger to be pulled. Just pull it and let's go. Let's go for it. Let's dive into it, right? A lot of virtual world going on in our industry. Like everything is so virtual. Just stay focused. How would you say for a timid and a shy realtor, how would you tell them, come on, jump in? What would be your one advice to them? Saying, you know what? Yes. And a lot of agents are very shy to come on camera. What would be your advice to them?
All right. This is going to sound really weird. Stop going to your broker and asking him like some people go to the broker like, man, I feel a little insecure about what I do or how much I'm charging, whatever it is. And their broker goes, no, you're fine. They pat him on the back, send him out of the office. I would say, screw that. What I would do if I were you is especially if you're brand new, you need to sit down and figure out what your value actually is that you feel good about. So you need to write down what is your value, right? And you need to be able to write that out so you feel good about it. And then you can go out and figure out what resonates with you and how you want to reach people. But you got to know what your value is so that when you're reaching out to someone, it comes from a place of authenticness, right? It's like, hey, I really do want to be a realtor because I know that I'm great at this, this, and this. And I don't want you to end up working with someone that doesn't care about you the way I do, etc. So I think that it's a little unconventional, but it's like get good, understand what your value is, and then realize that you're not for everybody, right? Like you're not trying to reach everyone. A lot of times, like when I'm doing a video, especially when I'm coaching somebody to do a video, it's figure out that one person you want to talk to and just pretend you're having a conversation for that or with that one person and start there.
Right. And I like what you just said is that don't continue. You're not going to match everybody. It's not going to be a match, 100% match for everybody. And sometimes you have to learn to let it go. And it's okay to let that go, right? Yes. Focus on what is important to you and to them. What is your value proposition?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you don't feel good about that, like keep working, right? Like keep working until you do feel good about it.
Exactly. And it has to come from within, right? Everyone is not going to match, like you said, right? That being said, in the world of real estate, what do you obsess over?
Oh man, what do I obsess over? I obsess over agents being clear on why they got in the business and not building a business they hate. Way too many people build a success that they actually end up hating. So what I obsess about is helping people get clear on what they actually want, and then make sure we're building the ladder up against the right wall, right? Helping them build to actually what they're actually after, and not building the success they hate, and making sure they're clear on what their options are, and if it's about profit, helping them have massive profit. It's about impact, helping them figure out how do we have profit and impact. So I think it's helping them get really, really clear why they're doing this and how do we get there in the most effective way.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing advice you just shared with us. And you've been doing this 7,000 business owners who you coach, which is amazing. And you said this is the best pandemic yet. So
amen.
Let's circle right back to that question is that what have you learned about yourself during this whole year of 2020? What has been your one aha, a couple of ahas that you've had?
Yeah, I've enjoyed not having 1,000 things to do. Right, I think it's the analogy. I think for me it was, somebody else gave us an analogy, but we live life like in a snow globe, right? We're like we live life, we're shaking up all the time. We get in our car, we turn music on, we're talking, right? It's like our snow globe's shaking up all the time, and I think the pandemic allowed some of that snow to settle and us to go like, you know what? There's an opportunity there, right? Why am I not doing that? Or do I love what I'm doing? Like, it allowed you to just get clear on what's working, what's not working. So I've loved that part of it. I've loved that it's forced us to deepen some relationships, which has been awesome. I think what I've learned too is that in the beginning of this pandemic, it was easy to treat this like a sprint, and really we need to treat it more like a marathon, right? We can't just grit our way through it in a sense, right? We got to kind of get into that marathon pace of, are you taking care of yourself? Are you drinking water? Are you pacing? Right, like all that kind of stuff. So a lot, especially a lot of people that I get a coach, right? They're like, all like, let's go, let's white knuckle it, and it's like, hey, I get that, and I love the intensity, and yet we've got to make sure we can sustain for the long term.
And create it as a habit. Just don't do it now, because we don't know how long.
Well, and everybody got out of their habits, right? Which is fine for a week. Right. It's not okay for like 6 months.
Exactly. And have a routine. That's what I tell my agents, to have a routine. Yeah. Do your affirmations, do your workouts in the morning. You really focus on what matters to you, so that can resonate with your clients at the end of the day, right?
Your new weird, crazy pandemic routine.
Yes. Well, Coach Wayne, it was amazing to talk to you. I look forward to someday seeing you live. Thank you for your time. And again, you're a bold coach, which, 30 of 30, that's so awesome, so impressive. Keep it going. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, my friend. Go get it.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye for now.